Hey everybody, welcome back to Row Country. Today we're doing a Michael's dupe with Dollar Tree items. For just $2, we are going to recreate this little sign. It was $12.99. We're going to buy one of these little chipboard hearts from the Dollar Tree, and also this pack of 3 words for Valentine's. Love, XOXO, and Valentine. I'm using some paint I have on hand, the crimson ballet slipper and white chalk paint. Also that little bit of stain. We're going to need a straight edge, 2 rulers, some painter's tape, also some paint brushes, and then of course some Valentine theme ribbon. I picked these up at the Dollar Tree too, so technically you could say $3, but you really only use a teeny tiny bit of this ribbon. And then finally a glue gun and some glue sticks. Okay everybody, let's jump in and get started. Okay, so this cute little chipboard heart did come from the Dollar Tree. What I really like about the twine that's attached is the end of that twine has a piece of plastic attached to it, which prevents it from, sliding out when it's hanging, but it makes it super easy to remove it, so we don't have to cut it. We're just going to take that out and toss that aside for another project. You'll want to choose the side of the heart that you want to work on. I'm looking to see which side I like best. Since it's going to be stained, I wanted to be sure that it was going to be a good side for me. Now I'm taking a diagonal measurement, and I'm finding that it's about 8.5 inches from where I'm starting to where I finish down towards the bottom. And I am just taking some painter's tape and taping down the plastic ruler. That's going to allow me to get my measurements. Now guys, this was way too much math for me. Okay, so these are the measurements here. You can pause here. These are the measurements I'm using. So what I've done is I've created this sort of lift with the plastic ruler and the painter's tape. And I'm taking my metal ruler and I'm going to line it up at the 2.5 inch mark on that ruler. And I'll bring you in as best as I can here to show you. So where I'm starting is right there. Now I'm going to put down some painter's tape also on the metal ruler. And then I'm going to come in with a straight edge. You'll want to be super careful when doing this, but that straight edge, you'll want to be sure that your edge is up above that metal piece that surrounds the blade. And the reason you want to do that is because if you don't, you'll get sort of a skip as you're going against the metal ruler, and then your lines won't be straight. So make sure that you have a nice little bit of an, lift there on that straight edge, and so that way when you're coming down these rulers, you are going to do that in one motion and not have any skipping, or just want to make sure that it's straight. Now I did about 4 or 5 passes, and then I lift the painter's tape up off of the metal ruler, okay, and you'll notice that there's going to be a gap, and that gap is where the plastic ruler was. So we'll lift that plastic ruler away, line everything back up, and then we'll continue down for the straight line to finish the line that we started. Now I'm just, again, painter's tape is your friend here. It will help to keep everything in place. If you have clamps, you can use those too, but I didn't find that necessary. The trick here is to take your time, and you just want to be sure that you're scoring this board. You're not cutting all the way through it. So 4 or 5 passes works. Then what we'll do, you'll see here in a moment, is I will put down this ruler again, but just a little teeny tiny, literally that much away from my first line, and we're going to repeat the process. So light scoring all the way down 5 or 6 times at the most, and what that's doing is creating the gap. Now if you notice on the piece that we're getting our inspiration from, those are actually pieces of wood that were cut and then attached to a board backing. We're mimicking that without having to cut this apart and then glue it onto a second heart. If you wanted to do that, that'd be fine. You could definitely do it. This board or this heart is thin enough to do that, but you know, you don't have to. Now you could leave it like this, and that would give you sort of a beadboard effect, but I'm going for more of a shiplap or a stacked piece look. And so for that reason, I'm going to go back with my straight edge, and I'm definitely going to clean that out. Now this is what it looks like when you do all four. You could have used painter's tape and just tape this off at those measurements and not have any scoring in the board at all, and that would look fine too. But I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could achieve the effect that I was looking for, and I think when you see the end result, it absolutely meets my expectations. So again, you could definitely use painter's tape if you wanted to, just to start the lines. You do want painter's tape though for the next part. Now if you have a steady hand and you can paint very straight lines, then you don't need this part. You can skip the painter's tape. But I felt like, for me, especially since I'm using stain and paint, that I wanted to use the painter's tape to give me a better edge on that, and we're going to start with the stain part first. So that painter's tape, I just really put it down really well and burnished it down into the groove that I created with my utility knife. And then we're going to go ahead and lay down some stain first. Now this is a stain that I've had for quite some time. The color is maple, and it's really pretty. The thing about stain though is you want to start light, because it's easier to build up the depth of stain versus trying to remove it, because once it gets on the board, it really is kind of hard to lighten it up. So I just took some tissues. You could use a sponge, you could use a paintbrush, and I put my stain onto the tissues and then applied it to the piece. I felt that that way it would allow me to get a better finish on the stain without leaving areas where it might be too dark from where the stain first hit the piece before I could wipe it off, if that makes sense. So I'll let you watch. This is what I start with, is the gel stain, and then we move on to painting. Now it really almost takes no time at all for that stain to set up, and what I did is I took a clean tissue and wiped back over the area, and you know, once it came off clean, I was able to remove my painter's tape and felt comfortable enough that the stain was set well enough that I could move on to the next process. Literally didn't take 5 minutes. I mean, it was really quick. Now we're going to come in with the Waverly white chalk paint, and I'm literally copying, if you will, the piece that I got my inspiration from. So this is the portion that will be painted white, and I used Waverly's white chalk paint. I only needed 1 coat. You could do 2 if you felt that would be better. Now, of course, the chalk paint doesn't really take no time at all to dry, and so I'm just going to leave the painter's tape in place, and I'm going to come back now into this upper, what would be the left-hand side if you're looking at the heart, face forward, and we're going to use the crimson. Now, the crimson is going to go not just in the top portion, but also at the bottom portion, so it sort of sandwiches the rest of the heart in the crimson. So we'll do the crimson here, and then we will proceed on to the last portion. By the time I get done painting this upper left hand side of the heart, the white has completely dried, so we can move on fairly quickly with this entire project. It goes very fast. I did want to take a moment to say hey to my returning subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your support. I can never tell you how much it means to me. It just means so, so much. Hey, if you're new here, why don't you consider becoming part of the Row Country family here on YouTube? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And also, everybody, make sure that that little bell is marked, and go ahead and choose how you want to be notified every time I put up a new video. As I remove the painter's tape, I'm realizing that the stain might not be something that everybody would want to use, and that's what that would look like. The natural of the unfinished wood against the paint is really pretty too, but I use the stain. It really does mimic the piece that I'm getting my inspiration from, and I really like the maple color, so I'm good with it. But this last portion is now going to be painted in Waverly's chalk paint in the color Ballet Slipper. It is the perfect light pink for Valentine's. I'm really not a pink person when it comes to my Valentine decor, but I really thought I'd give it a try, and I'm glad that I did. I think it just really coordinates well with not just the inspiration piece, but really with the whole Valentine theme overall. So I'm going to go in now with that Ballet Slipper. Again, that's by Waverly chalk paint, and it's just really a pretty color. We'll let that dry, and then we'll move on to the next step. Now, once everything has had a chance to dry, we're going to bring in the words from this little 3-pack. Now, this is love. That is what the inspiration piece shows. Of course, they had to screw theirs in. The board is thicker, etc. This is what ours would look like if we went exact dupe, right? But the great thing about DIY is that you can customize it for yourself. And honestly, XOXO is so cute on this. I decided to go with that instead. So we're just going to put some dabs of hot glue. You got to work quick because these galvanized letters will dry the glue fairly quickly, but we'll just place that in the center, and that's what that looks like. You guys, I think that turned out so cute, and I really like this, how it just sort of looks rustic to me as well. What I decided to do was go with the ribbon with the hearts on it, and what we're going to do is sort of feed it through those holes. You could make the holes larger if you wanted to. I don't take a big piece of this ribbon. I don't need it to hang very low or long on a wall or anything like that. So I'm just going to sort of snip it off here, and then I'll gather the end of one side, and we will feed it through from the top into the bottom. We'll wrap it with some painter's tape, snip it off so that it's nice and pointy, I guess, to make its own little needle, sort of, just like that. And we'll just push it through from the front into the back. We'll finish it off with a knot, and we'll do the same thing with the other side. And just like that, guys, we have recreated a $12.99 Michaels sign, and we customized it for our own personal decor. This sign at Michaels is cute, but guys, this one is too. Super cute and super easy. My Dollar Tree DIY Michaels dupe for Valentine's 2020. Hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching. Go ahead and watch another video. Until next time, bye.